What is up, sports bettors? Matt here with OddsJam, coming to you with 3 early bets to lock in for week 4 of the NFL season. But before we get into that, I will say, just to do a little bit of a recap from last week, week 3 was the first of the NFL weeks where I did not have such a good week. My four sharp bets in terms of the lock, underdog, game prop, and player prop went 1 and 3. The 49ers money line losing that last night really hurt. Game they should have won. Jimmy G just looked terrible. The Bills-Dolphins over, I thought, was a lock at the end of the first half, and then the Bills didn't score a second half touchdown. Joe Mixon just had a really inefficient day of running, just took the L on that one. So rough with these 4 sharp bets, bringing my total to 7 and 5 for the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, up $233 in profit. Obviously down from last week. The podcast bets from Sweat the Bet, which if you want to subscribe is on any podcast platform that you see available, Spotify, Apple, whatever. It's at Sweat the Bet presented by OddsJam. I went 2-1-1, again, losing the 49ers money line. 1-1-1, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 push. If the 49ers just didn't blow it, I would have made my week a lot better. Probably not good to have so much riding on one team, but bringing my total Sweat the Bet picks, we do 3 each week. 6, 2, and 1. I did have my first good week with the underdog. The Lions blew it, but I had the Packers and I had the Falcons. And I only put a 1/4 of a unit on the Lions. I did put a 1/2 of a unit on each of the Packers and Falcons. So came out pretty profitable with those. And then my survivor pick, still kicking, still surviving. I picked the Bengals for my survivor pick. So 3-0 there. Stay tuned on this channel for all of these picks moving forward. And then, of course, the Sweat the Bet, to subscribe to Sweat the Bet to get those picks as well. But for this video, like I mentioned, there are 3 early NFL props that I think are really good that I'm going to go ahead and lock in. These early picks have gone pretty well. Last week, I had the Ravens money line as my biggest play. I put 2 units on the Ravens money line, which is rare. I normally don't put more than 2 units on a play, but they obviously hit, so that one was good to go. So the first one here, and actually my favorite one, which I'll start with, is actually this under in the Packers versus Patriots game. So the EV play is on PointsBet at -105. But with that said, if you open this up in a new tab, there's actually an even better play if you just get a 0.5 point higher, get it at -110. Because look at the gap between what the OddsJam line prices the 41.5 at -114 versus what they price the 42.5 at -110. That's like a 17-18 cent difference between 41.5 and 42.5. And then PointsBet, or the difference in the odds we could get it at from PointsBet are at -105 to BetMGM, which is -110. So I think that this is actually an awesome play, the under 42.5 in the Packers versus Patriots game. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. I would like to put a full unit on it. We will see how much they will let me get on this one. So I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers, and they locked the total. So guess I'm not going to be able to lock that one in. So let me refresh this page, see what we can get here. I could still get it at -115 on PointsBet, which would still be a better play than the -105 because we're getting a 10 cent difference, and it's still the OddsJam line, the sharpest line in the world, is telling you that this really should be an 18 cent difference. So I'll go ahead. Let me see if I can get it on PointsBet. Stupid MGM locking their plays. But let me go to PointsBet. We're looking for the Packers. So I want to lock in the under 42.5 at -115. I would like to put a full unit on this one. We'll see how much PointsBet will let me get. They generally have me limited. So it looks like the max they'll let me get is 34.49. So that's what I will put on this under, 34.49. But for those of you at home who are unit sizing, this should be a unit on this play. But that's unfortunately not what they would let me get. So I took the under 34.49 on this one. Click save, just adding this one to my bet tracker. So that is the first of the early bets that I've placed, the Packers Patriots under 42.5. I love this one. I mean, 2 gross offenses. Mac Jones is already hurt, so we're probably going to see Brian Hoyer maybe in this one. Not going to be a good game. And 2 good defenses as well. We just saw what the Packers did against Tom Brady. Didn't let him get a touchdown until like the very end of the game. We also saw the Packers offense only put up 14 points. They've struggled recently. So it's a low total, but one that I really like. This next one, again on PointsBet, is the Houston Texans point spread plus 6.5. So Similar logic to why I liked this one so much. Like if you look at every other book and what they priced this under at, every other book was giving you 41.5 as their mainline total, and we got it at 42.5 and only had to sacrifice 10 cents of market or of 10 cents of juice, kind of like what I was explaining earlier. Similar logic to this one, to the Texans versus Chargers, right? Texans plus 6.5 we are getting at plus 100. Every other book is pricing that at minus 110 as the most favorable, whereas some books minus 112 is telling you that bet is even more likely than what than the other books have it at. And then if you open this one in a new page, just to look at all the spreads, we see that some other books have this spread actually at minus 6. So getting it at 6.5 at plus 100 is pretty good value. I would like to put a half unit on this one. Let's see how much PointsBet will let me get. They just let me get 34 on the last one. So we are looking at the Texans, and I want them plus 6.5 plus 100. So this one should be a half unit play. Let's see how much they let me get. And they accepted that one, so we're good to go there. So let me just add this one to my bet tracker. And I just don't think the Chargers should be getting a full touchdown against anybody. At this point, we just saw them get spanked by the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars might be better than what we initially expected going into the year. They're sitting at 2-1, two back-to-back impressive victories. But still, the Texans, even though they just lost to the Bears, the Chargers shouldn't be getting a touchdown on anybody. Herbert doesn't look healthy. His ribs, it must be hard for a quarterback to deal with pain in your ribs because of how much torque and it's just side-to-side movement you need to just unleash a pass that Herbert unleashes. So this one, I liked, again, for football reasons. And then the last one, similar logic. Steelers shouldn't be getting over a field goal against anybody. I don't care. Mitchell Trubisky is just a dreadful quarterback. And even if they do switch to Kenny Pickett, I'm not confident that behind that offensive line, he'll be able to do much better. And the offense just looks absolutely broken. So this one, Jets plus 4, minus 109 on Circa. Similar logic here. The perfect line, OddsJam Pinnacle was pricing this at minus 122. If you open this up in an event page, you can see that most other books are giving you 3.5. We can get it at 4.5 at minus 109. So nice of Circa to have a little bit less juice on this one than most books giving you minus 110 each way. But we see like sharper books like Bet Online at 3.5, Pinnacle at minus 114 at 3.5, minus 122 at 4, showing you that this is a good play. So for Circa, go to Pro Football, and I'm looking for the Jets plus 4, minus 109. Another half unit play for me. Let me lock this one in, and we're good to go. So those are my 3 sharp bets to lock in early for the NFL Week 4 slate. I actually got the under 42 and a half, minus 115 on PointsBet. Jets plus 4, minus 109 on Circa, and then the Texans plus 6.5 plus 100 on PointsBet as my 3 early sharp bets. And that's it. So hoping for a better week this week after a rougher week 3. But again, that's it. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to subscribe, everything to get these picks moving forward, and have a good one.